For decades, the life of Michael Jackson remained one of the most closely examined stories in modern entertainment history. His music changed the industry, his performances attracted audiences across the world, and his influence extended far beyond the stage. Yet, alongside his artistic achievements, another subject continued to generate endless speculation. Millions of people watched his appearance change over the years and wondered what was really happening. Rumors spread through newspapers, television programs, and later the internet. Some explanations were based on facts, while others relied entirely on speculation. As medical experts and researchers examined the available evidence, many began focusing on a scientific explanation that involved genetics, immune function, and a condition that affected the body at a cellular level. During his childhood and early years as a member of the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson appeared healthy and energetic. Photographs, television appearances, and concert footage clearly documented his appearance throughout those years. As his career expanded during adulthood, however, noticeable changes gradually became visible. These changes occurred over a long period rather than appearing suddenly. Because the transformation happened in front of a global audience, every detail attracted attention. Fans, journalists, and critics all searched for explanations. By the mid-1980s, discussions about his skin color had become widespread. Many observers noticed lighter areas appearing on his face and hands. At first, some assumed the changes were caused by lighting conditions, makeup, or photography techniques. As time passed, however, the differences became increasingly difficult to ignore. Public curiosity intensified and countless theories emerged. Some people claimed cosmetic treatments were responsible. Others suggested intentional skin lightening. Few of these theories relied on verified medical information. Eventually, attention turned toward a medical condition known as vitiligo. This disorder causes patches of skin to lose pigmentation when the cells responsible for producing melanin stop functioning or are destroyed. Melanin is the pigment that gives skin its natural color. When melanocytes disappear from specific areas, those regions become lighter than surrounding skin. Depending on the severity of the condition, depigmentation can spread gradually across large portions of the body. Michael Jackson publicly stated that he suffered from vitiligo. Despite his statements, many people remained skeptical because public understanding of the condition was limited at the time. Today, however, vitiligo is widely recognized as a legitimate medical disorder affecting millions of people worldwide. Researchers have spent decades studying the disease, uncovering important information about its causes and its relationship to genetics. The scientific investigation of vitiligo revealed that genetics plays a significant role in determining susceptibility. Researchers discovered that individuals carrying certain genetic variations are more likely to develop the condition than others. Rather than being caused by a single gene, vitiligo appears to involve numerous genetic factors working together. These genes influence immune system behavior, pigmentation processes, and cellular responses throughout the body. One of the most important discoveries involved the connection between vitiligo and autoimmune activity. Scientists found evidence suggesting that the immune system mistakenly attacks melanocytes in affected individuals. Instead of protecting the body from harmful threats, immune cells target pigment-producing cells, causing them to disappear over time. This process leads to the visible loss of skin color associated with the condition. As genetic research advanced, investigators identified multiple regions of DNA linked to vitiligo risk. Some genes appeared to influence immune regulation, while others affected pigmentation pathways directly. These discoveries helped explain why the condition sometimes runs in families, and why some individuals develop extensive depigmentation, while others experience only minor symptoms. Researchers studying autoimmune disorders became increasingly interested in these findings because they revealed broader patterns within human biology. Vitiligo shares certain characteristics with other autoimmune conditions. Individuals affected by the disorder sometimes show increased susceptibility to thyroid diseases and related immune system disorders. These connections suggested that the condition represented part of a much larger network of biological processes involving genetics and immune regulation. For Michael Jackson, the consequences of vitiligo were magnified by global fame. Most people dealing with the condition live private lives, but every change in his appearance was documented and analyzed. Medical experts explain that severe vitiligo can produce dramatic differences in skin pigmentation. As depigmentation expands, individuals often seek treatments designed to manage the condition and create a more uniform appearance. Scientists investigating the genetic basis of vitiligo also explored why melanocytes become vulnerable in the first place. Their research pointed toward complex interactions involving inherited traits, environmental influences, and immune system activity. Certain genetic combinations appeared to increase the likelihood that pigment-producing cells would become targets of immune responses. However, genetics alone did not tell the entire story. Environmental factors may also contribute to disease progression. Researchers examined potential influences such as stress, skin injury, illness, and oxidative stress. Oxidative stress occurs when harmful molecules accumulate faster than the body can neutralize them. Some scientists propose that oxidative damage weakens melanocytes, making them more susceptible to immune system attacks. Although studies continue, this theory gained considerable attention within the scientific community. The idea that genetics and environment work together became central to modern understanding of vitiligo. A person may inherit genetic traits associated with increased susceptibility, yet environmental factors may influence when symptoms appear and how rapidly the condition progresses. This interaction helps explain why no two cases are exactly alike. As public awareness increased, many misconceptions surrounding Michael Jackson's appearance began to fade. Medical documentation and scientific evidence increasingly supported the conclusion that vitiligo played a major role in the visible changes observed throughout his life. Dermatologists familiar with the condition noted that the patterns of depigmentation described in available records were consistent with severe vitiligo. Researchers also became interested in the psychological challenges associated with visible skin disorders. Conditions affecting appearance can have significant emotional and social consequences. Individuals living with vitiligo sometimes experience anxiety, reduced self-confidence, and public misunderstanding. For someone as famous as Michael Jackson, those pressures were amplified enormously. Every public appearance generated commentary, often from people unfamiliar with the medical realities involved. Advances in genetics continued revealing new information about pigmentation disorders. Scientists developed increasingly sophisticated techniques for analyzing DNA and identifying genetic markers associated with disease risk. These studies provided deeper insights into the biological pathways involved in melanocyte survival, immune regulation, and pigmentation maintenance. The discoveries surprised many people because they replaced years of speculation with a scientifically supported explanation. Rather than involving a mysterious or unusual cause, the evidence pointed toward a complex but well-documented medical condition influenced by genetics and immune system behavior. What many viewed as an unsolved mystery increasingly appeared to be an example of how inherited biological factors can produce visible changes over time. The more researchers learned about vitiligo, the clearer it became that the condition was far more complicated than most people realized. It involved intricate relationships between genes, immune cells, pigmentation processes, and environmental influences. Understanding these interactions required years of scientific investigation and collaboration among specialists from multiple fields. As researchers continued exploring the genetic foundations of the disorder, additional discoveries would emerge regarding the specific DNA variations linked to vitiligo and what those findings revealed about human biology. These developments would provide even deeper insight into the condition associated with Michael Jackson and explain why scientists became so interested in the genetic clues hidden within the human genome. As scientific research into vitiligo continued advancing, investigators gained access to more powerful genetic tools capable of examining the human genome in unprecedented detail. These technologies allowed researchers to identify specific genetic regions associated with pigmentation disorders and autoimmune activity. What they discovered surprised many scientists because the condition appeared far more complex than originally believed. Instead of being linked to a single defective gene, vitiligo involved a network of genetic factors interacting with the immune system in highly sophisticated ways. Researchers conducting large-scale genetic studies found that multiple genes influence the likelihood of developing vitiligo. Some of these genes help regulate immune responses, while others are involved in pigmentation processes. Certain genetic variations appear to increase the chance that immune cells will mistakenly identify melanocytes as targets. Once this process begins, pigment-producing cells can gradually disappear, leading to the visible loss of skin color associated with the condition. One of the most significant findings involved genes responsible for immune system communication. Scientists discovered that specific DNA variations may alter how immune cells recognize threats within the body. In individuals predisposed to vitiligo, these variations can contribute to abnormal immune responses that target healthy melanocytes. This discovery helped explain why the condition is classified as an autoimmune disorder, and why its effects often extend beyond simple pigmentation changes. The more researchers learned about these genetic pathways, the clearer it became that vitiligo represents a complex interaction between heredity and biology. Individuals may carry certain genetic traits for years without developing symptoms. In many cases, additional factors appear necessary to trigger the condition. This realization shifted scientific focus toward understanding how genetics and environmental influences work together. Scientists began examining why melanocytes become vulnerable in some individuals but remain healthy in others. One leading theory involved oxidative stress. Under normal conditions, cells continuously produce and neutralize reactive molecules as part of ordinary biological activity. Problems arise when these molecules accumulate faster than the body can control them. Researchers found evidence suggesting that melanocytes in people predisposed to vitiligo may be especially sensitive to oxidative damage. Over time, this vulnerability could contribute to cell dysfunction and increase the likelihood of immune system attacks. These discoveries generated significant interest because they revealed connections between vitiligo and broader biological processes. Rather than being an isolated skin disorder, the condition appeared linked to mechanisms affecting cellular health, immune regulation, and genetic expression. Scientists recognized that studying vitiligo could provide valuable insights into other autoimmune diseases as well. For Michael Jackson, these scientific developments offered a clearer explanation for changes that had puzzled the public for years. Throughout much of his life, discussions about his appearance often focused on rumors rather than medical evidence. However, as genetic research progressed, many of the assumptions surrounding his condition became increasingly difficult to support. The emerging scientific consensus pointed toward vitiligo as a legitimate biological disorder influenced by inherited genetic factors. Researchers also explored why vitiligo varies so dramatically among individuals. Some people develop only a few small patches of depigmentation, while others experience widespread pigment loss across much of the body. Genetic differences appear to play an important role in determining disease severity. Certain combinations of DNA variations may increase susceptibility to more extensive depigmentation, while others contribute to milder forms of the condition. This variability helps explain why public understanding of vitiligo remained limited for so long. Many people assumed the disorder always appeared in the same way. In reality, symptoms can differ substantially from one patient to another. The case associated with Michael Jackson attracted unusual attention because the depigmentation appeared extensive and highly visible, making it difficult for observers to understand without medical knowledge. Scientists studying pigmentation disorders also investigated the role of family history. While vitiligo does not follow a simple inheritance pattern, researchers observed that the condition sometimes appears among relatives more frequently than expected by chance. This observation supported the idea that inherited genetic factors contribute significantly to disease risk. However, genetics alone does not guarantee that a person will develop the condition. Environmental influences remain important components of the overall picture. Stress emerged as another factor, receiving considerable attention. Researchers studying autoimmune diseases have long recognized that physical and emotional stress can affect immune system behavior. Although stress is not considered a direct cause of vitiligo, evidence suggests it may influence disease progression in susceptible individuals. Scientists continue investigating how stress-related biological changes interact with genetic predisposition and immune responses. The intense public scrutiny surrounding Michael Jackson created circumstances unlike those experienced by most patients. Every visible change became international news. Every photograph generated discussion. Such attention made it difficult for objective medical explanations to compete with sensational theories. Yet, as scientific evidence accumulated, many misconceptions gradually faded. Researchers and medical experts increasingly emphasized that vitiligo represented a genuine biological condition, supported by clinical observations and genetic research. Another surprising discovery involved the relationship between vitiligo and other autoimmune disorders. Studies revealed that individuals with vitiligo sometimes have an elevated risk of developing conditions affecting the thyroid gland and other immune-regulated systems. This finding reinforced the view that vitiligo belongs to a broader category of autoimmune diseases rather than existing as an isolated skin disorder. Advances in DNA analysis also allowed scientists to identify additional genetic markers associated with pigmentation. These markers influence how melanocytes function, survive, and respond to environmental challenges. Understanding these pathways opened new possibilities for treatment development. Instead of focusing solely on visible symptoms, researchers began targeting the underlying biological mechanisms responsible for pigment loss. The field of personalized medicine emerged as a particularly promising area of investigation. Scientists envisioned a future in which genetic testing could help predict how individual patients might respond to specific treatments. By examining a person's unique genetic profile, physicians may eventually be able to design therapies tailored to their biological characteristics. Although much research remains necessary, these developments represent significant progress in understanding and managing vitiligo. Public awareness of the condition increased substantially during the years following these discoveries. Educational campaigns helped explain the science behind pigmentation disorders and corrected many common misconceptions. Individuals living with vitiligo became more visible in media and public life, encouraging greater acceptance and understanding. As knowledge spread, discussions increasingly focused on medical facts rather than speculation. For researchers, the genetic investigation of vitiligo provided valuable lessons about human biology. The condition demonstrated how multiple genes can interact with immune processes and environmental influences to produce complex outcomes. It also highlighted the importance of examining diseases at the molecular level rather than relying solely on visible symptoms. The discoveries associated with Michael Jackson's condition surprised many people because they revealed a far more scientific explanation than popular rumors had suggested. Instead of supporting sensational claims, the evidence pointed toward intricate biological mechanisms involving DNA, immune regulation, and cellular function. The real story proved more fascinating than many of the theories that had circulated for years. As scientists continue studying pigmentation disorders, new discoveries emerge regularly. Researchers investigate genetic pathways, immune system behavior, and cellular responses in hopes of developing more effective treatments. Every breakthrough contributes to a deeper understanding of how the human body maintains pigmentation and why those systems sometimes fail. Ultimately, what scientists discovered was not a mysterious secret hidden within Michael Jackson's DNA, but a complex combination of genetic factors that increased susceptibility to a well-documented medical condition. Their findings demonstrated the remarkable influence of genetics on human health and highlighted how scientific research can transform public understanding. What once appeared to many as an unsolved mystery gradually became a story of biology, medicine, and genetic science. Through years of research, investigators uncovered evidence that explained much of what had puzzled the public, replacing speculation with knowledge and revealing the extraordinary complexity contained within the human genome.